Alright, so for this video we're bringing together two things that we have seen in the last couple of days of class. We're bringing together informal commands and we're bringing together direct object pronouns. Informal commands are those commands that you use to talk to somebody who you address as tú. So your teacher you might address as usted, your doctor, your priest, your minister. Those are people whom have authority over you, your grandparents. So you would talk to those people as usted. Anybody whom you have a close relationship to or whom you're equal to, you would address as tú. So these people are the ones that you would use informal commands with. Okay? So informal commands. So how do we make informal commands? Well, for most verbs, the informal command is the same as the he, she conjugation. El, ella, usted. So el, ella, usted is our shorthand here. So we're going to take a look at these verbs really quickly, and you're going to tell me what the he, she conjugation is. And when you do that, you're basically telling me how to do the command also. So the he, she conjugation, el, ella, usted conjugation for sacar, ¿qué es? El, ella, usted, saca. Okay? That's the command. Instead of saying el, ella, usted, saca, now you're saying tú, saca. Not as a conjugation, but rather as a command. Tú, saca, saca la basura, saca el plato, saca el libro. The command for lavar is going to be lava, lava, because that's the he, she conjugation. Tú, lava, lava los platos, lava la ropa. Okay? Tú, corre. Okay? Your coach might tell you run, corre, corre. That's the he, she conjugation. Your mother might tell you come, come. That's the he, she conjugation of the verb comer. Your teacher might tell you escribe, escribe. That's your command right there, write. And you might hear abre, abre, open your book, abre el libro. Okay, so basically to remember your command, all you have to do is remember your he, she conjugation. Of course, there are some irregulars. Irregulars have to be memorized, okay? Just like all irregulars, there's no clear pattern to it. There's no clear rule to it, so you have to memorize it. Luckily, there is sort of a mini pattern here. Venir is going to be ven. Decir is going to be di. Salir is going to be sal. Hacer is going to be haz. Tener is going to be ten. Both of these verbs, ver and ir, are both going to be commanded as ve. Poner is going to be pon, and ser is going to be se. Okay, so I sped through those, but basically, maybe you see a pattern. Venir, venir, the first three letters are ven. Salir, the first three letters are sal. Hacer, the first three letters are H-A-C, pronounces as C. Hacer with that soft C sound. So you're going to keep that soft C sound right here with as by changing the C to a Z. Tener is going to be ten, poner is going to be pon, and so most of the time it's the first three letters, but not always because you do have di, and you do have ve, and you do have se. Okay, so these verbs, venir, venir, ven, come here, decir, di, speak, say to me, salir, go out, so sal, go, hacer, do, hazlo, haz el trabajo, do the work. Tener, to have. Ten, take this. Ver, to watch. Or ir, to go. Ve, watch this. Or ve, go. Poner, to put. Pon el libro, put the book on the table. Pon el libro en la mesa. Ser, to be. Sé más respetuoso, be respectful. Okay, so those are just irregular commands that you have to memorize. However, there is a bit of a pattern with the first three letters, ven, sal, haz, ten. If you want a mnemonic device to help you remember what these are, Vin Diesel has 10 weapons, okay? So Vin Diesel has 10 weapons. Where is that? Vin Diesel has 10 weapons. Okay? Vin Diesel has 10 weapons. Vin Diesel has 10 weapons. Okay, so maybe that'll help you remember. So those are our commands. That's a quick rundown. Over here we have a direct object pronoun. So direct object pronouns, what do they do? Direct object pronouns tell us what receives the action. Okay, tell us what receives the action. So in each of these examples, we have a sentence with a subject, a verb, and an object that receives the action. So this first example, él estudia el libro. He studies the book. Okay, so now we ask ourselves, what's the action in that sentence? Studies. What does he study? The book. So el libro is our direct object. Okay? If we want to replace el libro with just a pronoun like we would in English, he studies the book, he studies it. We can do the same thing in Spanish. We just have to make sure that we get the right gender and the right number. Él estudia el libro. Okay, el libro is masculine. It's singular, so we're going to pick the masculine singular form of that word. So we're going to pick lo, the masculine singular pronoun. He studies it. The word lo is it. Ella come la pizza. So she eats the pizza. What does she eat? The pizza. That's our direct object. The pizza is feminine and it's singular, so we're going to pick the feminine singular form of the command. I'm sorry, the direct object pronoun, which is going to be la. Nosotros pedimos los sándwiches. We order the sandwiches. What do we order? The sandwiches. That's masculine and it's plural because it has that los. So I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to pick the masculine plural form of the direct object pronoun, los. And lastly, ellos sirven las bebidas. They serve the drinks. What do they serve? The drinks. That's our direct object. I'm going to replace that with a pronoun, and the pronoun is going to be las because it's feminine and plural. Okay, so you saw this in class. The big trick here is remembering your placement for those pronouns. So because I have he studies the book, he studies it, I don't need to say the word book anymore because the it is going to take care of that object. So I'm going to get rid of el libro. That's gone. And I'm going to make sure that I place this pronoun in the right spot, which in Spanish is not after the verb like we do in English, but before the verb. Okay? So what we would say as Spanish speakers is él lo estudia. Ella come la pizza. She eats pizza. So now because we have the word it, we don't need the word la pizza. We can get rid of that. And we're going to take our direct object pronoun and we're going to move that before the verb again. Ella la come. Okay? Nosotros pedimos los sándwiches. So again, we're going to make sure that we get rid of the direct object because we're going to replace it with a pronoun. And we want to say both of them. So we're going to take that direct object and we're going to say nosotros los pedimos. Oops, excuse that. Nosotros los pedimos in front of the verb. Okay. So we have nosotros los pedimos. We them order. That's the way it would sound in English. Kind of weird. In Spanish, it makes perfect sense. Ellos sirven las bebidas. They serve the drinks. Ellos sirven las bebidas. So what we're going to do is we're going to take las bebidas and we're going to get rid of that direct object because we're going to replace it with that one pronoun. Ellos sirven las bebidas. They serve the drinks, and we're going to put that before the verb. Okay? So those are direct object pronouns which have replaced the nouns. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to combine those two things. We're going to combine the command, which is over here, and the direct object, which is over here, to form a basically sentence in one word. Saca la basura. Well, where's the action? The action is right here, right? Saca. Saca la basura. Okay, so what we're going to do as a command is we're going to put that in the he, she form, saca, right? What are we taking out? We're taking out la basura. So we're going to replace la basura with a pronoun. What's that pronoun going to be? La. Okay, because it's feminine, it's singular, it's la basura. Let's figure out what's going to happen next. So we have sacar and we have la.